Hello viewers, today I'm working on this BMW F13 and this car has the N57 engine with the two turbochargers, which means this is the N57Z version. So let me show you what we have here. So I decided to do a quick video just to show you how to remove the turbocharger and what you're going to need to remove to do it. First, the most important thing, you don't need to remove the valve cover to remove the turbocharger. We have removed it because the owner wants to replace the whole valve cover, because as all of these engines is leaking from behind on this point. He tried with a new gasket and stuff, but still the valve cover is leaking a lot. So he decided to change it. But once again, you can remove the turbocharger without removing this cover. This is essential because if you remove the cover, you're going to need several more hours, because you're going to need to remove the intake manifold, the injectors, some of the wiring of course. Then you're going to have access to the valve cover itself. Let me show you what I have removed. Here is everything aside these parts, because this is for the valve cover. So this is the turbocharger, the smaller one, which we have removed. This is the old cartridge which is leaking on the exhaust side, and that's why we have rebuilt the turbocharger, as we can see, with a new cartridge. So actually let me talk a little bit about this hose. This is the plastic hose which is attaching here, and is sitting something like that. You're not going to be able to remove this hose until you remove the turbocharger, so this is going to be left in place. Yeah, I'm going to replace this o-ring here and also here. So yeah, this hose is going to be left here while you're doing your job after removing of the turbocharger. This is the hose which goes to the bigger turbocharger. It's hosed with this clamp here on this side. This is one of the intake hoses which are connecting to the turbocharger. Once again, we have two o-rings for it, which we're going to change. Yeah, I removed this for additional space. This is for the oil gases, and yeah. So you're going to say that you can remove this turbocharger without removing the EGR, and the biggest issue with removing of the EGR is because you're going to have coolant leakage when you remove it, because of these two connections which are looking like that. So you're going to have two like those. I don't remember where I put the other one, but I'm going to show you after a second. And the main reason that you're going to need to remove this EGR is because of this bolt here. You're not going to have a lot of access to this bolt to be able to remove it. I know you can do some instrument to remove it, but I decided to remove the EGR and just do it as it's supposed to be done. I have bought a new gasket for the turbo drain. So this is the oil drain of the turbocharger of the cartridge, which is connected here underneath. And the other thing, yeah, actually this is a little bit hard to be removed. This is the heat shield, and this is the main reason that probably you guys are watching this video, because you're struggling to remove this heat shield while the valve cover is in place. But it's possible to remove it. You just need to push it backwards and you're going to be able to do it. It's not impossible. And yeah, I have disconnected this hose here, which is going to the thermostat here, because this gives me access to remove this piece, which once again goes to the bigger turbocharger. So yeah, I still needed to disconnect this coolant hose from its place. Now I'm not going to move it because it's going to start leaking once again. I leave this connected because of the vacuum line is still connected. Once again, we have two o-rings here and here, and as we saw, let me take the other one. So we have two hoses like this, and it's, I don't know how can I take them, hoses, pipes like that. So one of it is like that, and the other one it's here. So in total we have 4 o-rings for them, but also we have one more which is for here, right here. So this is the other piece, and sadly enough BMW is not selling this gasket, brand new one. You're going to, if you want to replace this gasket, you're going to need to replace the whole pipe, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to put some silicone here so to do it. And yeah, this is all the o-rings that I'm talking about for the turbo pipes. So 2 of them, 2 more for the other pipe. This is the ring, this one for here. This is the bottle rings which I told you that are going to the valve cover here. And this is the two exhaust gaskets, which once again we're going to replace. They are going on this place here, on these both circles, and luckily enough we was able to remove the bolts here without stripping any threads like it's happening all the time. Yeah, pretty much this is what you're going to need to remove to be able to remove the small turbocharger. Of course you're going to need to remove the fan and this where it was, this sound insulator, plus this, so to gain access to the fan, so to be able to remove it out of your way, so to gain a little bit more access to the front, and especially to remove these holes. It's kind of hard job, especially on this 6 series. If you work, let's say, on a X3 or X5, you're going to have a little bit more access, because here you're going to have a little bit more room, but on this 6 series doesn't matter how big is the front, still you don't have a lot of access, because this wall here is pretty close to the engine, and you cannot put a lot of instruments here which you can work with. The perfect case, you're going to replace these gaskets here, but BMW have replaced this EGR already with a brand new one because of the bulletin that has, and BMW is replacing these EGRs on all the N57 engines pretty much. So they have installed new gaskets here and here, so that's why we're going to reuse them. They are still in good condition. I think these have been replaced previously. If not, it's a good idea to replace it now, because those are breaking down all the time. Just to show you the drainage, there is one additional bolt which is held here, 10mm head with M6. Now I'm going to tighten up this to the turbo, and I'm going to start it back in place, and I'm going to show you how everything looks like. And for those of you that are wondering, this turbocharger is not like the older generation one from M57. This one has variable geometry inside, which is controlled of course with this electrical actuator. And you cannot replace it by yourself. You can do it, but after that you're going to have issues because you haven't recalibrated the actuator to the new cartridge. And this is going to cause you some issues for sure. You need to do this only on a bench test, so to adjust the right amount of airflow with the electrical actuator, and you cannot do this without the proper equipment. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but this is how it is. On the older ones you can do it because they are with waste gates, but still you cannot check is it balanced as it's supposed to be, the new cartridge. So this can lead you to some issues after that. So yeah, if you want to do it as it's supposed to be, better send the turbocharger to some shop which is doing only these turbochargers, because they're going to have the proper equipment for doing this. So one more thing while we are here, now is the perfect time to check how the two bypass valves for the bigger and the small turbocharger are working. So this is for the small turbocharger, the underneath here, the underneath this one is for the bigger turbocharger, the bypass for the bigger turbocharger. Yeah, I have removed the both valves which is controlling them, they are the same. So this is the two valves which is controlling the bypass valves on the turbochargers, and actually the front ones, which are pretty much more important ones, these ones. So this is ones that I have removed from the car, these black ones. This is the original ones which I removed from the car. Some of them are coming with white cap, some of them are coming with black cap, doesn't matter. So this is the new ones that we're going to use, Pierre Borg. They are the same, yeah, like that. So we're going to install these ones. Actually, I have checked this, the black ones. They are still working, but not on their full potential. So they are dropping the vacuum pretty fast. So the new ones are going to increase a little bit the responsiveness of the car. So that's why we're going to replace them. Yeah, this is just the original BMW oil for the gearbox, and yeah, we're going to use our original rocker cover gasket. So just to show you, this is the two hoses which is controlling the both bypass valves, and I already saw an issue. So So let me show you. I'm going to pump up some vacuum on this hose, which is connected to the bypass valve of the small turbocharger. So let me show you. As you can see, let me zoom in a little bit. It's moving the flap for sure, as you can see the flap. Like that. But the minus is that, let me show you the vacuum. The vacuum is dropping, and this should not supposed to happen. And if we connect to the other bypass valve for the bigger turbocharger, like that, as you can see, we are connected to the vacuum hose. Let me show you when I start to pick up the vacuum what is happening. Pretty much nothing. So either we have a break in the vacuum line, or either this bypass valve is faulty. So I'm going to remove the vacuum hose there, and I'm going to see is it holding vacuum there. So yeah, I have removed the whole piece, and unluckily for the owner, it's not going to be the vacuum hose. It's going to be the diaphragm inside the plastic. So I'm now going to let it go, and as we can see, it's dropping, and this it's not supposed to happen. You're going to probably need the whole piece. I think this is not sold separately, I need to check. But yeah, you can remove this C-clip here and replace it. I'm going to need to check does they sell it separately. Okay, so always check your equipment before condemning something. In my case, this was the issue. This hose has somewhere a puncture, and that's why we were losing vacuum. But when I replace the hose with this longer one, now let me show you what's happening. So once again, we are checking the bypass valve for the bigger turbocharger, and this is it. And now it's holding. So yeah, it turns out that my hose was broken down, that's why I was not holding vacuum. Now I'm going to show you the same on this one that is working. And just quickly to show you this one. And it is holding. So yeah, I was about to condemn these two valves, but I was like, how is it possible both of them to fail, which is not happening really often. That's why I started questioning my tool, and yeah, it turns out that this hose was the issue. Okay, so I have replaced the vacuum lines that I didn't like, which are most of them. So on the back, on the front, some of them, I have replaced these longer ones for the bypass valves for the, once again, the smaller and the bigger turbocharger, because one of it was broken, so I replaced both of them. These ones, the other ones, which are the more important, looks okay. And actually, I believe this one, yeah, I believe the red one was almost impossible to change it without removing the whole turbocharger, because this vacuum line is getting so deep inside the turbochargers that you're going to have no access to it. So yeah, I decided to leave it how it is. I put some aluminium tape around the original heat shield, because the heat shield which was installed here previously is one-time use, but yeah, I'm reusing it, and you need to cut it, and after that, so to be able to reuse it, you're going to need to use either zip ties or either, like I did, aluminium tape. So yeah, like that I think is going to be okay, and it looks pretty much like the OEM one, and it's going to be heat resistant much better than nothing here. So once again, the important O-rings, the two charge aluminium pipes, in total 5 O-rings on the both ends, and here, as we can see, yeah, I have put some silicone here on this flange, because once again, this gasket is not sold from BMW, so the only way to replace this is to buy the whole charge pipe, which is bizarre. I think this is around 250 euros, something like that, so just a little bit of silicone and it's going to do the job. Okay, so some tips about during the assembly. When you are starting the both charge pipes, which are aluminum and you don't going to have any flex on them, it's a good idea to attach the 3 bolts which are on the hot side of the turbocharger, but not fully tighten them up, just attach them. So to align the turbocharger on the exhaust manifold, and after that you're going to need to attach first this pipe, after that this one. So to be able to tighten up these bolts, of course. If you fully tighten up the hot side, it's going to be literally impossible to install these aluminum pipes in place. You're going to ask yourself why you have removed this when you know that there is no gasket here. The reason why is because it was leaking a little bit of oil from here. That's why I decided to remove it. So to put a little bit of silicone on the gasket, nothing crazy, just a small amount of silicone, just to be sure that it's going to be a little bit better sealed than before. Okay, so pretty much everything assembled. Yeah, I have installed a new valve cover with new gasket and stuff. I have removed the swerve flaps on this engine. Yeah, I have changed some vacuum hoses. Yeah, I don't have with this type of coating on them right now, but these are good enough. This is burner vacuum hoses, so they should be good quality ones. I haven't installed just the piping for the mass airflow meter, just to have a little bit more access to see what's happening. The car should start up like that. I have built up the system because we have removed the injectors to check them in what conditions they are. Yeah, now I'm going to start the car and everything should be fine.